Now joining me, thank you so much for being with us and being willing to make a quick swap in the seats. Themis Klarides is a Republican who represents Woodbridge and Orange and Derby and is the Deputy Republican Leader and sits on the Finance Committee. So we know you're listening with a particularly sharp ear to everything that was said today. And as someone who is also looking at finance and how we raise the funds to pay for things, I want to ask you what your general impressions were of not only the things the governor said today, but what he's released over the last several days.
Well, Diane, first let me say that, I admire, respect the work the governor has put into this budget. This is not an easy year. These have not been easy years for the past few years, and we've got a long road ahead of us. So, I think he put a lot of good faith effort into it, and I admire that. Having said that, he talked about, and as most of us have spoken about many, many times, about shared sacrifice. From what we've seen, we see a $3 billion tax increase in the next 2 years. But when we ask, what was our operating budget last year? $19.3 billion. What's our operating budget this year? $19.7 billion. What's our operating budget next year? $20.2 billion. Where is the shared sacrifice there? So basically what we've done is we have increased our spending and brought our taxes up to meet that increased spending. For this to work, it's got to be true shared sacrifice. It's got to be cutting our spending, and then if you have to look at taxes, you have to look at taxes, but we haven't seen that yet.
Republicans have suggested, in the past, have been selling off some of the properties that the state owns. One thing that's come up a number of times is Riverview Hospital, Bradley Airport. It doesn't seem as though those things, if they were on the table, they're no longer on the table.
Well, quite honestly, I do believe that the governor, in his mind, everything is on the table. And to his credit, he has asked for $2 billion of concessions from the state unions. That clearly is going to be a big part of this discussion. But, some of the questions we asked when we were briefed on this were, we talked about the spending, then we said, okay, how many state employees do we have now? 45,000. How many state employees will we have with this budget? Well, 150 less. Now, 45,000, 150 less. We don't really see that as a downsizing. Unfunded mandates, how many have we taken away? None. How many buildings, as you mentioned, have we sold any? Well, one small building in southeastern Connecticut that apparently was a state police troop that's being used for something now. Those are the things that we need to see, but we haven't seen any of that yet.
Thank you so much. We look to continue the conversation with both of you.